Gonna go ahead and get started. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday so far. Obviously, you guys know I'm not Lauren, I'm Kisa. Lauren is taking the night off because she got married yesterday, so woohoo! It was beautiful. If you haven't seen the photos yet, I'm glad she finally got to have her dream wedding and she's married now, and that's super exciting because this has not been an easy thing with COVID, so very, very happy for her. A couple of announcements, you guys, is that products that are fully out of stock right now are the Isagenix with zinc and that Pro Mix Vortex blender, the one that was in the New to You bundles. It's going to be on back order until early August. So if you do have someone that ordered a New for You bundle that has not received that Pro Max, they should have gotten a little note in there just saying that it's on back order and they'll send it to them when it's available. Also the sour cream and chive, I did not know that. Sour cream and chive whey thins are unavailable for individual wholesale and on back order until mid-August. And the white cheddar whey thins are unavailable for individual wholesale and back order until early August. And I didn't look at these before, so I'm wondering if the other the two that were out before are back. I'll have to check in on that. For Canada only, the Women's Complete Essentials Daily Pack with Isagenix is unavailable for wholesale and on back order until August 3rd. And then the Peach Mango Cleanse for Life in the US is unavailable for individual wholesale, but is still available for packs and on Lifestyle Rewards. And new members, if you do enroll a new member with a pack or with any new items, that is available. The Peach Mango is available for them in that. Let's see. If you guys haven't checked out Penny and you're building a business, there is, a learning curve to it, but I think once you get going on it, it's going to be super helpful. So if you haven't looked into that, I highly suggest that you do. The Celebration Live breakout sessions are, let's see. Sorry, she just sent this. I'm just now reading through it. So sorry if I sound a little off here. You guys should have received this email, and I know that the email for all these notes are actually posted in Dreamers in Action. So there's some links to a couple of different calls, Kathy Coover's opportunity presentation. So go ahead and look at that if you're curious about it. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So tonight we are going to chat about setting your new member up for success and following up, and then kind of just what you're going to do when you have someone interested, and that's where I'm going to start. And then if you guys have questions, I will be doing like a Q&A at the end, so feel free to type it in the chat and I'll get to it once I'm done with everything. Or, if you want to pop out at the Q&A and ask me verbally, you're welcome to do that too. So whenever I have someone that's curious, I always, especially if it's a new person that's building a business or growing a business and doesn't know a whole lot about what to say to someone, my suggestion is to always put them in a group message with someone else, with another leader. And this isn't because we think that you guys don't know what you're doing, but sometimes you may not know what you're doing or know what to say. And so kind of taking that burden off of you to know all of the answers and knowing what to ask and putting it on to a leader is going to help you in turn to learn. So let's say, you post something about Isagenix, someone comments on it or sends you a message asking for more information. I always comment or suggest commenting on their post and say, sending you a message. That way it kind of takes it off of your Facebook thread, off of the commenting, and puts it into a group message right away so that you can answer their questions. So, I always kind of tend to tell people to feel it out depending on how well you know the person. But if they're commenting and wanting more information, what's great is just to put them into a group message right away with someone and introduce the two of them. So, hey, Tina, this is my good friend, Jenny. she's who got me started in Isagenix, and I saw that you commented on my post, and I just really wanted to make sure that I got your questions answered. And so I just wanted to add you to this and answer your questions in here. And that way, if you have more, then Jenny and I can make sure we get them answered for you. And so that really makes it, first of all, not weird later on down the line when you put them in a group message for something else, or well, that's also a coachable tactic, so to speak, because you're also making it so that that's not weird for them to do down the road either. So I really like putting them in a group message right away. And it helps too, because if you are just starting out or you're brand new and you're not super comfortable with answering questions, or you may not know what to ask, it's just really helpful for you to learn, but also you can see how a leader will dig deeper into what that person is needing and how, they're going to find out what their goals are. So maybe someone's just asking about an energy product, and instead of just directly sharing the information about that product, the leader is going to find out, well, what other health goals do you have? Why do you need more energy? Kind of dig deeper into that, because you could go from, I don't even remember who it was recently that in the last couple of weeks or months that I did this message with, but it went from someone literally asking about the BIA to getting enrolled in a full-blown pack just because of the digging a little bit deeper through their questions, realizing that, they were lacking nutrition, they were really high in stress, and they were low on energy. So that's why I think that the messages are so helpful. Also adding them to the Facebook pages. So if Dreamers in Action Preview is the preview page for testimonials that you guys can always add any prospect to. If you're on my team, we have a page that's kind of all encompassing. It's called Freedom Dreamers. And I always just add people to that. That way, if they are not necessarily ready right away, which to be honest, many people aren't ready right away or don't say yes right away, this is going to be kind of an additional vehicle for you to drip on them and for them to see additional information like testimonials, product information. And, I've had people be in Dreamers in Action Preview or in my page that were put in there years ago. And then all of a sudden they see something that sparks their interest. And that's what is it, the encouragement and kind of the push that they need to get started, or at least ask a question. So that someone can answer it and dig a little deeper. I will say this though, it's so easy to add people. I mean, I'm an admin on the Dreamers in Action testimonials page, and I can't tell you how many people get added every single day. I mean, probably 10 to 20 people a day, but the people that are adding to the groups are not posting in the groups. Rarely, if ever. So I cannot encourage you guys enough. If you are someone that's adding people to the groups, which if you're building a business, I really encourage you to do that. You should try to make it as much of a priority as you can to post, at least once a week in the pages that you've added people to. And the reason for this is because when you, let's say I add Jenny, and I'm Jenny's only friend in that group. She might not get notified if Danielle or if Tina posts in that group, but she's probably going to get notified if I post in the group. So if I don't post in the group after I've added her, there's a really high percentage that she's not actually seeing anything that's going on in that page. But if she sees something that I post that catches her attention, it might entice her to come into the group more, to scroll through it, to ask a question. And sometimes, I kind of make, when you have said something to your friend or just walking around your house about something that you want, and then the next day, like a ad for it shows up on your phone, you want to be that ad for people. That there are so many people that are suffering in silence right now, that are uncomfortable every single day, that don't want to go to the pool, that are struggling, especially right now with everything going on, just really worried that they're not going to be able to keep up with homeschooling or their kids, or they're stressed out. And so, you know, be that ad that pops up for them. That's like their aha moment, like their sign that they, okay, I should kind of look deeper into this. But if you never post, if you never, you know, follow up with them, they're probably never going to see any of that. And they're probably going to go to someone else that whose, you know, posts they do see somewhere else, because there's so many different things out there for people right now. So you just want to make sure that you're putting yourself in front of them, especially if you've added them to the groups. And then following up with people. So even if someone's not necessarily ready right away, it's really, and this is where Penny will be helpful, because you can add your prospects to that. But if you guys don't have a list, like a running list of people that you follow up with, I would highly suggest that you make one. You can find one in Isagenix Business also. If you want like a printout list, or just even doing it in a journal is great. But, you know, so often we come up, Isagenix comes out with promotions, or even Lauren or I will throw a promotion out there for free shipping, or, you know, something that a free product or something. And so you want to have a list of people that you can easily go to that didn't necessarily say no, they just weren't ready at the time for you to follow back up with. You know, Lauren followed up with me 14 times before I said yes. And so I can't tell you, like, you know, this is the max number of times you follow up with someone. In my perspective, I'm going to follow up with them until they tell me no. And I'm not going to do it like every single week, because that's, I think, a little over the top. But if you follow up with someone once a month, I think that that's sufficient. Even if they don't necessarily respond to you, you might seem like you're being annoying, but people are looking for this. And I've had people that I've followed up with for, Jenny and I were just talking about this the other day. I followed up with this girl multiple times in a row. She just never even read the messages. And then she'll comment on a post that she's seen of mine. I'll follow up with her. We'll go back and forth. And then she ghosts me again. I'm going to keep following up with her even when she ghosts me, because it's been 1.5 years, 2 years or more since I initially contacted, or since we initially connected. She's obviously still interested. It's just the timing may not be right. Her budget might be right. You know, you never know what's going on with someone. So I just encourage the follow-up. If you want me to go into more depth on that, I know Alicia had asked, we can definitely talk about that on the Q&A if you want like some more scenarios. And I'm sorry, I can only see 6 of you right now. So if people are like raising their hand, I apologize that I can't see you. I wanted to show you guys, the reason I have this up, and maybe I'll do this, that way I can get out of share screen because it might just be more helpful, is Isagenix has created the tools for us to utilize. If you aren't using these tools, then I would definitely familiarize yourselves with the tools that Isagenix has provided and go through the training, especially if you're someone who's saying, no one is responding to me, I'm getting crickets, I don't know who else to reach out to. If you haven't gone through this training, then, you know, I would suggest doing that, because there's a lot of resources here. So you guys can see my screen, right? Okay, cool. Okay, so here's the training. So if you go in, it usually looks a little bigger than this, but I have it on half screen. So you go to the training, it's training by rank. So if you're an associate and you click on associate, it literally gives you the steps. Stay, share, do, you click on that. It's helping your friends get started and say what to say. It gives you scripts, what to share. It gives you, you know, Isamovie, which is great, and what to do. And there's more scripts here. Downloading the Isa Life app, the new member checklist, and all of these are clickable. So if you click on each one of these, it'll go to explaining more in depth about that. But what I really like is this new member resources that's on the bottom of every page. And it has a whole bunch of resources like how to invite your guests to your event, Isamovie, the new member checklist, a bunch of different movies that are great for when someone is curious about Isagenix. One event that well, several events that I've gone to have said this, but one in particular, when I first heard it, is, have you gone through all the movies on Isamovie? If you haven't, go to Isamovie, watch every single movie. That way you're going to know when someone is an athlete, what's the best movie to share? When someone is curious about the opportunity, what's the best movie to share? If you haven't, I would definitely write that on the list. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. I mean, truly, if you're watching Netflix, you could probably take an hour to do this. Not knocking Netflix. I just finished Schitt's Creek and loved it. But if you have, 5 hours to watch that, definitely take 1 hour out maybe to familiarize yourself with these. It goes over the comp plan training. It goes over enrolling with Kathy Savage, which is awesome video. The new member checklist with Trudy and Kathy Coover. You share, they share, repeat, upgrading your story. So everything that you could need is going to be in here and in isagenixbusiness.com. If you guys are someone, or if you are working to help someone, what's going on here? Okay. If you're someone that's working with anyone to get to a rank advancement goal, making sure that they have their fast track to executive filled out so that they know what that means. So this is all this. I would just really suggest you guys go to isagenixbusiness.com and just spend some time kind of perusing through it and see. I know that you'll learn stuff that you didn't know before. And then also our weekly team call that we're on right now. This is our Facebook page for those of you who may not know that we have a Facebook page, the Dreamers in Action page. And so you can direct people here with all kinds of testimonials. So let's say someone doesn't have Facebook and you don't know what to do, how to, start them, and you can't send a Facebook message to them, but they want more information. Sending them here is great because there's all kinds of stories, talks about the events, and then there's a start here button where they can learn about Isagenix. So the Mary Evans Just Cleanse video is in here, which is amazing. Start Your Life if they're an 18 to 35, Next Entrepreneur. There's a lot of information in here. So I just wanted to show you guys that just because I know so many of us are visual learners and you may not know that this is available to you. So those are the two websites I highly suggest you familiarize yourself with if you want to share with other people. Is everyone good on that? Can I stop the share so I can see everyone? Okay. Yay. Whoop. Sorry, I exited my screen. Okay, yay, hi everyone. All right, so when someone enrolls, does anyone have trouble like when someone enrolls and then you don't know what to do? Does anyone struggle with that? Yeah, okay. So I think that sometimes we focus so often on getting the person enrolled and attracting the right people and attracting someone. How many of you have said, I'm sure everyone on this call, like, I just can't get anyone to enroll, having such a hard time getting people to reach out to me. But then when someone does enroll, do you take care of them? Are you making sure to love on them? Are you reaching out to them? If you don't have retention in your business and you're kind of like everyone hates to be ghosted, right? So the last thing you want to do is ghost the people that you are enrolling. You don't want to spend so much time attracting them into your business and then lose them in the retention because you've already got them. We want you to create depth in your business. And obviously one of the goals when you're building a business is to create consultants, to create more depth. You're not going to be able to do that if you don't love on them, if you're not following up with them. And so I know that there's a lot of times where you follow up with someone, you send a text message to someone who's getting started and you're like, hey, just checking on you. And then they don't respond. You're like, okay, well, didn't respond. I guess that's on them. Next week, hey, just checking on you. And then they don't respond. You're like, well, I guess they didn't respond. Like, if you're spending more time following up with them to get them to enroll than you are following up with them after they've enrolled, then you need to take a really hard look at the way you're coaching, at the way, at like where your priorities are with people. Because otherwise you could be someone that just sponsors a lot of people, but then you don't have any depth in your business and you don't have any retention. And then you're not going to create a level of trust with people when you just kind of shove them to the side to focus back on who you can enroll. Because there's people that have enrolled, I don't know, 100 people and are consultants because they don't have the depth, they're not loving on their people. And then there are people that have enrolled 200, but they're, 3-star crystal executives that have created executives. So just because you enroll a lot doesn't mean that you're gonna be this huge builder. But if you don't, love on your people and you don't have that retention, you're not going to be able to grow and you're not going to be able to develop people. So when someone gets started, it's really important to set the expectation. And so how many people are like afraid to get on a 3-way call or like suggest a 3-way call? Is anyone like, I can't see everyone's faces, but no, everyone's good on that. Okay. So the reason why I always suggest getting someone on a call with a leader is because you're going to learn from them, but also because you're going to hear them dig deeper with them. Always making sure that you ask, like I always write, even if I do a 3-way call and they're not my person, I still take notes on that person as I'm asking them questions, because that way, you can go back and you can read like, hey, they said that they were having an energy problem or that they were sensitive to caffeine. You really want to make sure that you're caring about what they have to say. But once you get the enrollment and once they've given you their information, making sure you set the expectation with them. So I'm going to add you to these Facebook groups. Make sure that you accept the invitation or else you're not going to see any of the information. So many times we throw people in a group, they have to accept it according to like the new Facebook rules. And so if they're not accepting the invite, they're probably not going to see anything that's in there until they do. I'm going to introduce you into that group. And that group is going to be really great for you as far as a resource, to ask questions, to see transformations, to have like cleanse day tips and tricks, and to see recipes. It's going to be like a really good hub for you. I'm also going to be your main point of contact if you have any questions. And like for you, let's say someone is brand new or has, doesn't feel like they are qualified enough to coach yet. Making sure that you're like, you probably already have them in a 3-way group. So utilizing that group you've already created. Like if you have questions, I'm going to be your main source of contact, but I also want you to be able to utilize that group in case a leader can get to you before me, or in case they can answer your question, better than I can. And also talking about the opportunity and how they can eat for free. It's probably one of the most important conversations you can have when you get someone started. And it doesn't have to be a lengthy conversation, but it's really important. And I had a hard time with this, in the beginning of when I was building Isagenix, and even kind of in the middle to a degree. I would talk on the phone with someone, I would get their enrollment, and then I just wouldn't say anything about the fact that we had like a business or a referral opportunity. And I've heard so many people say, well, they aren't interested in the business. Well, first, you don't want to prejudge anyone because you have no idea what someone is really wanting and where someone is at. But also, maybe they don't necessarily want to grow a business, but maybe they want to get their products paid for. Maybe that's what's going to help them ordering the next month. If you get people paid, then the likelihood that they're going to continue to order because they're getting paid, even if that money goes right back into their products, that's retention for you. That's retention later on, that someone may start to refer people because, they've made some money and they're continuing products. So making sure, and if you're not comfortable having that conversation with someone, that's why a three-way call is really important, because then the leader can make sure to have that conversation with them. And a lot of times it's just something so simple as, hey, I just want to make sure that you know that Isagenix is a referral-based company. So what's really cool is that they don't spend money on advertising. What they do is use us as word of mouth advertisers. So when you start to have a great product experience, maybe your mom or maybe your sister or maybe your best friend is going to be interested too. And what's awesome is that Isagenix compensates you for referring your friends and family. And so I'll actually go through, like, let's say they are enrolling with a premium pack. I let people know right away, hey, the pack that you're getting, for instance, has a product referral bonus of $50. So let's say your mom and your sister, next week they find out that you have joined Isagenix and they want to do exactly what you're doing, and they want to get started with the same pack that you're getting started with. You're not only going to get a $50 referral bonus from your mom, but you're also going to get a $50 referral bonus for your sister. And because they're getting started in the same week, Isagenix incentivizes that by doubling those bonuses. So you're going to get $100 for each person right back to you. And then even better is that after you've referred your first 2 people, Isagenix is going to bless you with another $100 bonus. So, right there, you're making $300 back. The premium pack is about $400 with the free shipping. So, you've made like a huge portion, they've made a huge portion of that back. And even if they never refer, there's a higher likelihood that they are going to refer if they know that information. If they don't know that information, they're never going to know. I mean, I had someone in my downline just this weekend was talking to her friend, and her friend was brand new and talked all about Isagenix for a while. I don't know how that conversation went because it's not my personally enrolled person. Obviously I wasn't there, but that woman went home and she paid retail for, $350 worth of products that she kind of just was aimlessly purchasing. And so I got on the phone with her today and was able to get, and this I will say too, even though it doesn't necessarily, go with what we're talking about. Sometimes I go off in tangents. You guys are friends with me, you know that. I try to stay off on the course, but stuff happens. So, and I'm on day 2 of a cleanse. So, but VIP is always really so helpful for anything, like customer service in general. If you have an issue that you're not sure is possible to solve, I really encourage you to reach out to me, to Lauren, to Laura Lori, to Shruti, who's Lauren's assistant, and see, hey, I have this situation going on with someone in my downline. Is there any way we can get on the phone with VIP? So, because it normally is something that's fixable. So this woman, I got on the phone with her this morning. I got on the phone with VIP. It was not a quick phone call for me. It was about over an hour that I spent on the phone between VIP and with her, but I was able to transition. Isagenix agreed to cancel her retail order, and I was able to transition her, once I asked her goals, into a basic pack with the bedtime belly buster. And I was able to get the referral for the person who actually referred her. And when we were on the phone, I had the same conversation I have with everyone about, if you decide to get to refer people, all you do is pay a $29 membership fee. And then I went through the you share, they share. And she's like, well, actually at first I didn't even mention that. I just mentioned you can get your products paid for. That gives you the opportunity. That's what I was doing. When I was going through why she should get started as a preferred customer versus a retail customer, obviously the benefits of the money she would save. But I also said, if you have a great product experience, Isagenix is going to reward you for your referrals. So then later on at the end of our conversation, she said, so what was that one thing you said about Isagenix paying me money for referrals? And so that's when I went into it with her about, this pack that you're getting has a $25 bonus. So that's going to Lisa because she got you started. But you have the same exact opportunities as she does. So it's just really important to have those conversations with people. And if you're not comfortable getting someone on the phone that can have those conversations, or even like if you're not comfortable, role play with someone, grab someone else from the team and say, hey, will you help me, have like role play 15 minutes, do a prospect call with them, talk about all of those things and get your comfort level up and your belief level up. Because the more you do it, like I rambled on and on, kind of like I'm doing right now. But my dad knows I was like just verbally vomiting all the time about stuff. And, you have to learn and fail forward. Otherwise, you're always going to be stuck if you never kind of try to just get, like Emily Vavra says, 1% better every single day. Okay. Also, making sure that they are getting the ISA Life app. Isagenix sends them a reminder. Like that's why, you put their phone number in there. Isagenix will send a text message to them, prompting them to enroll or get on the ISA Life app. But they're not going to know their username and password if you don't send it to them or send them a welcome email or make sure that they have that information or let them know about it. So many people have downloaded stuff like any other app that you can track food on. Isagenix has that option and all of the Isagenix stuff is in there. So making sure that they know that that's available to them, making sure that they know that they can enroll in the ISA Body Challenge. People have way more retention if they get started with the ISA Body Challenge because ISA Body has workouts in the app. It notifies them, it reminds them, it sends them emails, it encourages them. And after 16 weeks, they're going to get $200 in product as long as they followed, the requirements. But if they're using products, it's really important that you just mention it at least. Like I always tell people when I get them started, hey, if you want to enroll in ISA Body Challenge, it's free. I know pictures aren't always the most fun for people, but I promise, they're just pretty much for you. And at the end of it, if you complete it and you don't want to be judged for it, no one sees them. You just get the $200 product certificate. But getting them, I know some of the things have changed with ISA Body. Before, if you wanted to retain, because you need 500 BV throughout the 16 weeks to qualify for the $200 product certificate. If you want the business volume to count for your first initial order, which is, it's usually like 100 and something BV, which is a nice jump start to that 500, you'll want them to enroll that day. I don't know if that's changed, if they can enroll the next day and still get that BV, but I know for sure it's like day one. You'll want to try to, and the pictures are really good because let's be honest, most people are so fixated on the scale that if they go up, down 2 pounds, up 1 pound, we're so focused on if it goes up or if it doesn't go down far. And so pictures are so important for people to really be able to see their success. So even if they don't want to, I still encourage them to do it because, hey, you're going to be able to look back and see, wow, that shirt fits different on me now, or those pants fit different on me now, or, whatever the case may be. And your job is to just be an encourager. You don't need to hold their hand through everything, but, be as encouraging as you can and set the right expectation in the beginning. And if you give them these tools, that's going to help set them up for success. You saw on the the Dreamers in Action team website, there was an unboxing video. So if you cannot do an unboxing call with them or an unboxing Zoom with them, I highly suggest just sending that over to them and having them check it out. That way they know what things are. I cannot tell, and some of you may have done this, and no shame to you if you have, but there have been some people that later on down the road are like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to be doing 2 scoops of shake. I thought it was just 1. And I'm like, oh, that's probably why it was really watery or why you're not getting the full benefits. So, something like an unboxing call is going to be really helpful, whether it's a video or whether you're telling them on the phone or through a Zoom. And I know it might seem like a lot. You're like, okay, that's a $25 PIB that I'm like having to spend all of this time. But I promise you that truthfully, it's a really short period of time setting them up for success, but it's creating longevity or the potential for longevity in your business. And then just checking on them, after that first day, don't forget to check in with them, see how they're doing, find out when their first cleanse day is. Make sure that they know they should probably do 3 to 5 shake days before they do a cleanse day. I've had people that don't necessarily, you can tell people things. It doesn't mean they're always going to listen to you. But I've had people come out of the gate and like do a cleanse day day 1. So I'm like, okay, we got to dial it back and do some shake days. But, you won't know that information if you don't follow up with them and make sure that they're reaching back out to you. And if, voice memos are really nice. They make things a little bit more personable. Over just text messages, I find that people are a little more responsive to those. And if someone's ghosting you, just pick up the phone, because you just don't know what someone has going on. And if you do everything that you can to reach out to them and they still ghost you, well, then at least you know that you did your very best to set them up for success. And, that's all that you can do sometimes. And then making sure if you guys set people up on lifestyle rewards, I'm not sure if you all saw this, but they did change a few things with the lifestyle rewards. So a lot of the packs are going to be more expensive if you set someone up without it. So I always set people up with lifestyle rewards and let them know, hey, I'm setting you up with this, but I'm going to follow up with you before this goes out. If you want to edit anything, if you want to add, take away, cancel, that's totally up to you. But I'm setting you up with this lifestyle rewards, to get you the best pricing. I think Lauren might have went over this last week though, too, that it gives you the $25. Like I don't get my bonus if I don't set you up on this, so, and that's helpful for them to know too. Let's see. Vision casting calls are great. So I know Jenny did a couple of these in the beginning when she was just kind of getting really into her build several months, 6 months or so ago, and she found them to be really helpful. So doing a vision casting call with someone that you think would be great at this business, or that you need to have like a deep dive into with them, set one up, because that is going to help you learn, but it's also going to help a leader kind of dig deeper into why they want to grow a business, what they need, how much they need to make, and all of that. Okay, I went way over my 30 minutes here. Let me look at the chat. Thanks, Danielle. She messaged me privately and said that I look so pretty. I was joking with Jenny earlier that I went and got my lashes done, and I got home today and my lash girl had gotten a bunch of lash glue in my hair. So I had to get coconut oil and spend like 30 minutes getting it out. So I'm like, today my hair's going up in a bun because I'm going to have to slick it back. Okay. I like the new blender, yes. Amy, what do you mean? Do those people get the $50 coupon in the back office? Are you meaning about the?
I text her, Kisa, she's good.
Okay. Oh, I see that now. Oh, nice. Kimberly said, I feel like I trip over my words when I answer questions. I mean, I think we all do, don't worry about, I think that, again, using the tools is great. So if I know it's different if you're like on the phone with someone versus over a message with someone. But if you aren't on the phone with them, don't worry about being so quick to respond to them that you go and try to look for the answer yourself. We have, I mean, so many, the answers to so many questions right at our fingertips, whether it's the Facebook groups, you know, encouraging your cleansers, or even for you, if you have someone that sends you a message and says, you know, I'm having, and it's a product related question, or even if it's business, it's probably in Dreamers in Action, but you can do a search in Cleansers and Coaches for cleanse tips or gas or bloating or whatever, and any thread that has those words is going to come up in it for you. And so that's a really great resource, because there's probably answers to the same questions that your people are having right in that group. I mean, Lauren's had the Cleansers and Coaches group for like probably going on 7 years now. So you have to think, like, even though some things have changed because we've evolved as a company and we've evolved with a lot of the things that we do, there's so much information in there, and there's so much value in there if you really kind of dig deep into that. So, you know, you're going to be happier with yourself if you try to go look for the question versus just asking your enrolling sponsor right away. Especially, and that's duplicable. So that's something that you can teach other people to do also, so that they're not always coming to you. And that's something that I struggle with sometimes. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'm like even with the kids, it's easier for me to just do the dishes myself than to teach them how to put stuff in the dishwasher. But that's not going to help me in the long run when they're doing their chores, you know? So you teach someone to do something, it might take longer in the beginning, but ultimately it's going to set everyone up for success when then they can teach their people to do that same thing. Someone said, I follow Isagenix recipes on Facebook, and one user mentioned she just purchased a 30-day program because her friend did, but she doesn't have a sponsor. In a case like this, would it be beneficial to reach out and say, hey, I'm a consultant and I can help. I hate to see someone make an investment in themselves like this and not understand how to use it? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it depends. So if it's in one of the Facebook groups, like I know there are a lot of people added to random Facebook Isagenix groups like Start or Isagenix Business or Isabody, and maybe they were added and the person that added them doesn't do Isagenix anymore, or whatever the case may be. But you always want to try to give them back to whoever helped them get started. Or so in that case, I mean, you could reach out to her and just say, hey, like you said, I'm a consultant, or I'm partnered with Isagenix and I'm happy to help answer your questions. You know, and it depends. If she's ordered retail, then she's not technically enrolled. If she still ordered through the website and she became a preferred customer, she is actually directed onto someone's team. Because executives get retail orders, and then they also get preferred customers that enroll without sponsors. They're just kind of divvied up and handed out. So she might technically be on someone's team, she just doesn't know it. I mean, if you're an executive and you're getting those people, you should be reaching out to those people that you're getting, but I'm not sure if that's always the case for people. So I don't see anything wrong with reaching out to them, as long as, you know, you're ethically doing the best you can to direct them back to the person. So if her best friend or if her friend did it, you know, maybe helping direct her back or kind of picking up the breadcrumbs. I would definitely do your best to do that. But if she ended up not having anyone else to help and she isn't technically enrolled, then I don't necessarily, you know, it's a case by case basis, but I don't see anything wrong with you taking her under your wing. And if she goes to order next and she wants to enroll, then you've done your due diligence to like kind of pick up the breadcrumbs and see if she always want to lead them back to where they came from. But if she didn't come from anyone, then, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Does everyone need to pay $29 to become an associate, or is there a discount for premium or value packs? So it is free. If someone enrolls with a premium pack or a value pack and they become an associate in the first 30 days, then the $29 is waived. So that is definitely a benefit to someone starting with one of those packs. If they start with a la carte products or they start with a basic pack, it is not, they do have to pay the $29. But I always let people know it's just like, having Amazon Prime or a Costco membership. It's just going to allow Isagenix to pay you. And it's, you guys can run your business however you see best. For me, if someone has started with, either a la carte products or basic pack and they have people to refer, I know I'm probably going to create a consultant. If they're struggling with money and the reason that they want to refer is because they really need that money, I'm probably going to pay that associate fee for them. And I do that because let's say they started with a basic pack. I know I made $25 from that. Yeah, it's $4 more that I'm basically paying out of my pocket for them, but it's just, if you have the ability to do it and the desire to, and it is a case-by-case basis, it's part of cost of doing business is how I look at it. And for most of you, if you've not created 20 consultants yet, when they become consultant, you're going to get that $100 for creating them as a consultant. So, if you think that that's something that you want to do, then when they go in, or you can go in to make them a consultant, you can change the payment information, just if you guys didn't know that. So is it better to send an ISA movie to someone who is interested in Isagenix, whom you've talked to in person? What is best? So yeah, I definitely think so. I think that the videos are great because they kind of say all that needs to be said without you having to be the one to say it. And again, like I mentioned in the beginning, I would go familiarize yourself with the ISA movies because it is going to be a case-by-case basis. If someone is a personal trainer who wants the opportunity, you're probably not going to send like the weight loss video necessarily. You'd want to send an opportunity video or a video that aligns with their goals. So that's why it's important to know what their goals are and then familiarize yourself with those videos so that you know the appropriate one to send. We've got a little bit of time. Does anyone have a question that's not in the chat? Anybody? How comfortable are you guys with recommending the new Zija products? Is anyone totally not recommended those at all and is scared? Michaela. Okay. So I actually thought it would be a good idea, and I think I might still do this if you guys think that it would be a benefit. Before we fully did the merge, I reached out to a couple of girls from Zija. And it was actually a really good reminder for me because Zija only came out with, 8 core products that we're keeping. The other ones are just kind of there until they're sold out. But I was looking through all of the sheets. I printed off all of the sheets that are in the toolkit for all the new products. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm reading. I'm so confused. I have no idea what the best way to use any of these products or who I would recommend this to and why. And I just thought to myself, if I'm this confused with 8 products, imagine how Zija people feel coming over with our hundreds, or how even a new person. This is why it's really important to get and dig deeper with someone's goals, because people don't know, they don't know that the Ionix is meant for stress support and that it has these certain handful of benefits. And they don't know why our shakes are so good or why they would choose plant-based over whole blend or whatever. And so, I reached out to the girls and I just said, hey, would it be okay with you if we did a Zoom call? I would love to pick your brain about some of the products that you have. So if you guys think it's of value, I'm more than happy to schedule a team call maybe and have some of them from Zija talk about the Zija products and just why they love them and what the benefit that they've had. I know Jenny and Kimberly absolutely love the Moringa. or the super mix. And I will tell you, I absolutely, well, when we did the call, I said, what's the number one product? Jenny knows what I'm about, so that's why she's laughing. What is the number one product that you think I should try first? And they said XM Plus, without a doubt. It is like the little blue pill from the movie Limitless. It just makes you feel so good. And it's true. I was telling the girls to be as like politically correct as I can, that it's like a legal form of an illegal substance is how it feels after taking it. I just have so much energy and I'm like so ready to do stuff. And so even though, you know, it's hard because I know sometimes with price points, you look at the XM Plus and it's like $99 or 90 something dollars. And it's kind of like, I'm going to spend that much money with something that I don't know, or like it's only 30 packets. But I personally think that it makes me feel really great. And you guys know Isagenix has a great customer service. If you didn't love something, you could always call and figure out a return. But I suggest kind of just going through and dabbling in some of those. Look at the toolkits that we have. Do a little digging of your own and just try, like maybe tell yourself you're going to try one new product a month or one new product every 2 months and see. Because me trying that XM Plus, and then I did a story on it, and then I've done like a couple of stories just on my Instagram, and I've had probably at least 3 new enrollments with just the XM Plus and a couple Isagenix products. I've had a lot of people order that are current customers ordering that because they saw it. So, you know, it's just spend a little bit of time familiarizing yourself with the new products, and then just try them here and there. You know, if you had never tried like the eShots or the BIA, you wouldn't know how awesome they are. You wouldn't be able to recommend them. So even if like for some reason, maybe financially you're having a hard time, go in on it with another associate. You know, put the order in where it's needed and split a box of the XM Plus with someone else. And then you each get 15 packets and you can each try that. You know, there's always kind of ways to, my dad laughs at me when I say this, but just to finagle stuff, like figure out how to make it work. And yeah, you'll retain, I mean, that just even the XM Plus is like 68 business volume or something. So it's definitely a good chunk of volume that's going back into your business. But I will try to get those girls on and see if some of them one's in Canada, one's in the UK. So I know time-wise, it's a little bit tough because there's like a really small window of time. Like they can't get on to nighttime calls if they're in the UK. So I'll try to see if something works. It might not necessarily be like a team call on Monday night, but maybe we could do like a morning call sometime and then just record it for everyone. Anyone else have anything to add, or any of the leaders think of something that I may have missed? Oh, I know that Jules mentioned just being coachable. Sorry, that was on there. Your people aren't going to be coachable if you're not coachable. So just being as open to being coachable as you can be. You know, everyone is doing this business at their own pace, in their own time. Not everyone is full-time. Some of us really are spending 30 to 40 hours a week plus growing their business because we have big goals. Some people on here are parents that really just have some pockets of their day to try to grow this business. Some people just do want to get their products paid for. So we want to always honor where you're coming from and your time, but setting up yourself even for success, scheduling out time to grow this business, even if it's just an hour a day. If you're intentional in that hour, it can make all the difference for you. And then, if then you can maybe move to an hour and a half or 2 hours, you are able to set the pace of your business based on your time and your why and your goals. But, you need to have your belief level and kind of a roadmap to where you want to go before you're able to really pass that along to people. So if you don't know where you want to go with this business or what goals you have, whether, I know Lauren's talked a lot about goals and like sticky notes and just kind of sitting down and really figuring out what you want from this. I would definitely do that. Sit down and decide how much time you can devote and see if the time you can devote aligns with your goals. You know, if you want to be a 6-figure income earner next year, you're probably not going to get there doing just like 30 minutes a day or being inconsistent. But, you know, so whatever goals you have, you just figure that out. And if you need additional help deciding like what the heck to do next, use the tools, utilize the leaders, get in a group with someone, get an accountability partner. You know, those are all, you guys all make the effort to get on this call. So, you know, I'm proud of you all for spending the evening doing that. All right, well, if no one has any questions, I really pretty much took up this entire hour. So I hope you guys learned something. I hope I didn't just blab on and on aimlessly. But thank you all for getting on, and I will see you guys next week.
Thank you so much, Kisa. It was great.
Yeah.
All right, bye,
Thank you,
guys.
Kisa.